Hi everyone, you're watching Feeding Right and I am Simran Kaur. Today's topic is for expecting mothers. So if you're not planning to have a baby or expecting a baby, please feel free to skip this video or care to share it with somebody who is planning a family. Today we have a special guest with us, Dr. Dripti, who is a gynecologist. And the topic she's going to talk on is postnatal care. Now, I remember when I delivered a baby, I was least aware of what's going to happen in the immediate 45 days after delivery, which is why I was caught off guard. So let's understand quick 5 things from Dr. Dripti on what are the things that our body will go through physically and mentally. Here is a list of questions that we will be covering today. Dr. Dripti, thank you so much for taking time out for us. Our first question is a very direct one. What are the changes that our body is going to experience immediately after we deliver a baby?
Most of the women who are pregnant are only worried about the pain and discomfort or the problems that happen during the process of delivery. But what they don't realize is the next 1.5 months is the most difficult time and it's a crucial time. One thing is the gain in weight. Second thing is the swelling. Okay, the swelling that comes in the last 1.5-2 months, where if you look at your feet, they are like pillows. The size of the breast changes when you're feeding the child, how the breast looks or how it was before, the stretch marks that have come. So these are all part and parcel of pregnancy. Some people suffer a lot and some people don't.
The second question, Dr. Dripti. So, what happens biologically to our body when we undergo a C-section versus when we have a normal delivery? Is there any difference in pain that we experience?
Now, whether you undergo a C-section or whether you have a normal delivery, what the uterus goes through is the same. Means it takes about 3 months for the uterus to come back to the non-pregnant state. When you are pregnant 9 months, the uterus is really stretched and really very big, so it does not go back to its normal size immediately. So post-delivery, it is still about 5-month pregnancy size, and it gradually becomes smaller and reaches the non-pregnant size.
I was shocked when you had told me that your uterus after delivery is of the size of a 4-month-old baby. So which means that our uterus does not go back into shape immediately. What are we supposed to do to ensure that this process of going back happens properly?
Now, when it is becoming smaller, it contracts. So the first 45 days, the maximum amount of contraction occurs, and even when a mother is feeding a child, there is a hormone called pitocin which is released, which leads to the milk coming out of the breast. Now, it is also the hormone which is responsible for the contraction of the uterus. So when you are feeding the child, you'll realize that sometimes you're getting delivery-like pains. Okay, a lot of people feel it, some people don't, but the pains come and the uterus contracts and the little bit of bleeding keeps on happening. Whatever is your story of bleeding, it should never be excessive. It should not lead to a fall in hemoglobin. So the bleeding is there. You can have in form of small clots, you can have a fresh red bleeding which eventually turns maroon and then whitish and pinkish and little reddish on and off and eventually whitish, and then it disappears. So for most of the people, the story is 45 days. Some people stop bleeding in 30 days.
Dr. Dripti, tell us a little more about pain management. Why does it happen that some women in normal delivery also experience so much pain, while others who have done C-section will probably not experience anything?
First pregnancy, if you have delivered, sometimes even in second pregnancy, if the baby is bigger, we give a small incision on the perineum. Now, perineum is the place where you're sitting on. Okay, now you cannot put a dressing over there because it gets wet when you pee and it gets wet when you pass stools. That area contracts and dilates and it is difficult to put in a putty, so the wound is left open. You put the ointment couple of times a day. Okay, so you will feel pain and discomfort when you're sitting for the first 8 to 10 days. Now the incision is very small and you're on anti-inflammatories, you heal faster. Similarly, when you've had a C-section, the wound is in the lower abdomen. The wound is from the skin all the way to the uterus. So you will have pain when you're getting up and sitting. First day and second day, the pain in a C-section is pretty so much, but you're given a lot of IV painkillers. And then when you start sitting up and getting up, you will realize that you will have pain only on movement, and this pain will reduce with time. But everybody's pain tolerance is different, we realized. We're doing the same thing in both the patients, but it is different. So we always support you with anti-inflammatories in both the cases, C-section as well as normal delivery. A lot of the old timers, the mother-in-laws and mother, they believe that the doctor is doing a C-section for two reasons. One is because she wants more money, and second is because she doesn't have time, which I think is so mean. So I always tell them, you should always go to doctors you trust, so that problem is alleviated. Now the second thing is, if you go into labor, okay, and your baby's head is coming down, you're dilating well, the fetal heart is going to deliver very nicely. It's a fairy tale story, and you will recommend the same doctor to 20 other of your friends, because you had a normal delivery and this doctor does normal delivery and she does it so easily. Now a delivery is different for different people. If there is a problem, like if the baby's heartbeat becomes very slow or very fast, or in spite of good labor pains, the head is not coming down because your pelvis is very small, or there is something called as a fetal distress, which is seen on a non-stress test, that is where we are seeing the baby's heart continuously, then the chances of baby going to the NICU, that is the neonatal intensive care unit, is really very high. You don't want to have a baby in the NICU, you want the baby next to you post-delivery. Now there are some babies, when we do a ARM or when we check the fluid that's around the baby, the amniotic fluid is green in color because the baby has passed stool inside, and there's still a long time for the baby to deliver. That fluid can go inside the baby's lungs, can cause a lot of complications. So we end up doing a C-section because we want the baby out fast, so that the baby has lesser problems. Okay, so these are the common causes of C-section. It's very important that you choose your doctor wisely, and second, you stick to all these things I told to you beforehand, that when you go into labor, we give you trial of labor. So there are a lot of people who deliver very easily and we are very, very happy for them. But if there is a problem and C-section happens, nothing goes wrong. So there are advantages of normal delivery and there are advantages of C-section also. So we discuss about these things. If somebody has a C-section, I only talk about the advantages of C-section, and if somebody has a normal delivery, I only talk about the advantages of the normal delivery. I don't think you should choose what you want. We have women who come and say, no doctor, I want normal only. No doctor, I want a C-section only. I think deciding beforehand is not something that you should do. You should go with the flow, see what nature has chosen for you. If everything is going well, go the natural way. If there is a problem, you do what the doctor tells you to.
You need to really trust your doctor and make sure you're not following anybody else's advice. If you do wish to change your gynecologist, do it earlier than later, because it is not about having a good or a bad gynecologist. It is about having trust in your gynecologist. Dr. Dripti, tell us a little about the changes in our mental health.
There is something called as postpartum depression. Now we see 80% of the people suffer from it. In some it is really very bad, and in some it is mild and they pass through it. A lot of people cry during the first 1.5 months post-delivery. It is very important to understand, not only for the patient but also the people around, that if she cries, you have to let her cry, because once she cries, she feels better. She is having pains and aches everywhere. She is not sleeping well at night. So not sleeping well at night aggravates everything. Like, all of us have studied during exams and have kept awake, a few nights. But you know that post-exams, you're a free bird. You can do what you want. So when you have a date or time which is seen, it is easier for you to go through the bad phase. But post-delivery, you do not see that time. You do not know when is the next time you'll go get to sleep well, when you will not be worried about child. It just does not happen, and that is why the depression is a little more. So you have to understand that it is important to have a good relationship and not snap at people around you, and how you tell them things is also very important. This, I think, is a very, very golden advice.
Well, I remember crying every second night, and I didn't know why I was crying. So you're right when you say that it's good to cry.
Crying is very normal. So people who cry, they realize, and so especially very intelligent women who have everything under control. Suddenly the control goes away because they are not very happy. They suffer the most because they cannot understand. I have not done anything wrong. I'm doing everything by the book. Why am I feeling like that? I'm very happy that I have this child. I have so much of help at home. I have everything which I wanted, but they still feel like crying. So one is, once they are told that it is normal, it's okay to go through this and you will feel better with time. Crying always makes them feel better. So I always tell them nobody should tell her stop crying when she's crying, because that's one of the ways to feel good. Post crying, they are good for a couple of hours, and again the same thing, it builds up, they cry again and again they feel better. A lot of women today are working online, so once when they start talking to people, or they don't even realize what month it is and what day it is and what time it is, because for them the 24 hours go on. Babies getting up, feeding, doing chichi pee, changing diapers, going to sleep for some time, again getting up. So their whole first couple of days just goes into figuring out what to do. So once they figured out, they have some time, they can go down for a walk in the building, go for a small drive. So once your normalcy starts coming, they do start feeling better.
I hope all the expecting mothers make it a point to explain it to their better halves and their families that if they do have sob sessions, it is completely okay and they don't need to panic or consider it as depression. But having said that, Dr. Tripti, please tell us a little more about postpartum depression.
So one is counseling, not only of the mother but also of the people around, telling them that what she's going through is normal. Things will get better every week, and things do get better with time. There are some people who have very, very severe depression, suicidal tendencies and thoughts about harming their children, which is unthinkable, or people even get scared of saying it, because if you say it, you're admitting to thinking like that, which is such a grave thing to do. But it is a very, very difficult situation. There we do give antidepressants. Now that's the other side, which is like the very, very severe side. In between patients, we counsel, and there are some vitamins we add to their bandwagon of vitamins that they are taking, which helps them to calm down. We give them some me time, take the baby away for about, say, a couple of hours, taken care by the husband or the mother or the mother-in-law. Breastfeed, express breastfeed is given to them, or a top milk can be given to them. The woman is taken out of the house for a small drive, or taken for a movie. Small things like that, which help her to come back to normalcy.
The word depression in itself is so depressing that hardly people want to admit that they are depressed when they are. So the best thing to do is, when you're normal and back to your usual life with a healthy baby after a couple of months, please make it a point to tell your friends about the depression and the fact that they need to get a counselor on board. Just the way all of us have a family doctor, why can't we have a family counselor? Dr. Tripti, one of the most important questions is about diet. What do we need to include in the recovery phase for our own health?
Post-delivery, lot of vegetables, proteins and carbohydrates. That's whatever is comfortable. See, because you're on anti-inflammatories post-delivery, because of the stitches, you should see to it that you don't eat very spicy food. Now, traditionally, nowhere in India, from the north to the south, nobody gives anything very, very sour or very, very spicy post-delivery patients. So they are given mostly bland food with little bit of salt and turmeric and chapati, dal chawal, things like that, which are easily digestible.
So we've covered 5 things for you today. So we've spoken about pain management, we've spoken about crying, about depression, about the physical changes in our body, and about the diet. Just the way it is a very big change for you in your life, it is also a change for all the other family members. So give it some time. And just the way when you start off something new, there are always teething issues that happen. Remember to take your family's support rather than be, very, very angry or very, very upset at them for smaller mistakes or smaller things they do differently. Make sure you have a well supporting family unit as you continue with your journey of motherhood. I hope you found this video useful. We are a growing community of parents, and it'll be great if we can know what are the kind of video topics you want us to cover. So feel free to reach out to us. We love getting your feedback. So please put in your comments, share your feedback, and definitely subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much and have a nice day.